Nah, this is always keeps happening. It always keeps happening. But what's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. I'm pretty sure it's T at this point because it always disappears as soon as I start it. But well, look, welcome to Live Palace News. It's me and T here to talk about all the latest with Palace. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future videos. And if you're watching this right now, the Aston Villa preview is out. So after this, if you're watching it on replay or if you're watching it live, go make sure to check that one out because we spoke about the game in depth. There was a little debate going on as well, so it's quite interesting. As always, if you do have any comments throughout the show that you want to leave them in the comment section, in the live section, and also send through any questions that you've got. T, what's going on, man? You keep setting me up. I'm convinced because I start the show and everything's in place, and as soon as I press live, it starts disappearing. Few things start disappearing. Come forward, man. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
I gotta blame the guy in charge. I mean, I don't have anything to do with that, man.
Why are you doing this to me? Because look, we never used to have howlers like this, but every time I start a show, I'm now paranoid because every time the same thing happens. But look, there's been a few going about today, a few bits of stuff going about today. In regards to Palace, Wilf, we're going to be talking about him and his future. There's another Premier League club interested. There's Lokonga, an update on him, whether he can join Palace, and that's a bit of a positive one. And also we'll talk about maybe Elise, Player of the Month, and general other Palace chat. So T, let's start off with Wilf, and that's according to reports coming from, I believe, London World, is that Tottenham are feeling confident. They're feeling confident, increasingly confident about securing the signature of Wilfried Zaha in the summer, with the Palace star yet to make up his mind. We spoke about Wilf previously. I think it was last week about him potentially moving to Saudi. It's another Premier League club. Look, if it was to move to another Premier League club, I'd like him to do a bit better than Spurs. And I'm not saying Spurs is not better than Palace, but you want him to move to a club where you don't even know contest day next season. You don't even know who's going to be the next manager. And in all honesty, I'm not as convinced with the story because he supports Arsenal. Why would he move to Spurs? Maybe another pay rise, but then again, Spurs are quite tight with their money as well. They don't like overpaying on players. So for you, Spurs, talk to me, T. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, he could. The only big thing that stands out is the fact that he might have the opportunity to play some European football with them, based on where they might finish in the league. But I think that's it. Like, and the thing about it is, if you want to try to win something, I don't think Spurs is the place to go. I mean, Spurs haven't really won anything, so I don't know. I mean, I get the allure of what you can get by going there with possibly playing European football, but like you said, they're kind of tight with the wallet, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if he would be able to get the same wages that he does even with Palace, to be honest, just because now he's 30, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't expect that move. Like, I think when he was rumored to be with it, have interest from them last time, I didn't really pay much attention, so I don't think we're gonna do it right now either. So
yeah, look, I would want him to move to outside of the Premier League ideally, but it's a decent shout. You could be playing Champions League football there, and realistically, if you're talking about the bigger clubs, I think Spurs is the one he potentially fits in. It depends with Kulusevski and Son, but I could see him playing there more than any other bigger teams. I'd like, for example, the likes of even Chelsea and Liverpool. I could see Zaha fitting in Spurs, but for me, I prefer it if he moved abroad. But interesting anyways, coming from London football. But look, they've been after him for a few years. They've been after him for a few years. And it seemed like they weren't willing to pay his wages. So it's just, and also, why would you want to get Zaha now? It's a bit confusing.
And they just added Dan Juma too, didn't they? They just added Dan Juma. So now you've got guys like Richarlison, Dan Juma, Heung-min Son, Kulusevski. I mean, they've got decent, more than decent options out wide too. So
yeah, and also like you don't know who the manager's going to be next season.
True,
that's the thing. With Conte, you don't even know if he's going to stay or not, and that probably doesn't help as well. Would the new manager want Zaha? But then again, look, not everything that we speak about on this show, comes true. Like, we're just speaking about the general sound. This is what Football World is reporting. There's going to be other reports as well. Some of them might happen, some of them might not. And look, our job here is to make sure you know the latest Palace news. That's it. Some of them, it could happen. As I said, some of them they might be absolute howlers. Who knows?
News, rumors, and speculations.
Exactly. Luke is saying better than Saudi move. Interesting. I feel like Saudi move it depends on what you want. Saudi move.
It depends on what he wants because he's gonna get way more money if he goes the Saudi route. Like Tottenham ain't gonna pay him that type of money. No way.
Exactly. Spurs are already stacked. Richarlison and Dan Juma both don't start over Son regularly. Sisby says don't care where he goes. Jude saying absolutely having. So that's the key, the most important word. You managed to miss it, Jude. I'm assuming he absolutely hates having loan players or loves having loan players. Actually, he says
feels like it could be more love.
I guess he loves him. Yeah. If Arsenal want him gone, let's make sure to go for it as long as he keeps playing well for us.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Lokonga. And it's quite interesting, this report that's come out today from the Times. We'll be talking about him in just a bit. As always, if you do enjoy the video and you joined just now, make sure to hit the like button. It helps us out massively. Colin says, would we really pay 15 to 20 million for Lokonga? As for Zaha, I'm over the Zaha saga. If he goes, then all the best. If he stays, then bonus for us. Regardless of either, we should look to bring in on another on the left. 100% agree. We need another player on the left because we've seen it so far. Sharp can play there, but we need better quality depth on the left-hand side. The right-hand side, we're stacked, but the left-hand side is weak. Maybe a academy player could come through. You man can take Lokonga for 30, 40 million. We're going to get onto Lokonga, but I don't know where these figures are coming from also.
But you know what? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, man. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's the type of stuff that starts happening just because they're going to overprice their players. The same way they overpriced Conor Gallagher.
I think what they're thinking, Conor Gallagher. I can't lie. As good as Lokonga's been for us, he's not having the same influence as Conor Gallagher.
Guess what we didn't do? We didn't pay that amount. So why do it? Because we're not going to pay it.
Probably fits our system better than Lokonga.
We're not going to pay that.
So let's forget about 30, 40 million. I'm telling you, that's not happening now. Jude says, I absolutely hate having Lokonga. See, he hates it. I thought that as well. Tisby says, give Raksaki and Ibu a chance next season. Yeah, but they both play down the right-hand side. Saying that, do you see what happened to Raksaki yesterday in the Peterborough game where he just literally
mopped dude up? I love it. He clocked that dude.
He got very lucky. You know, that was in Premier League. That's a straight red card. VAR sent him off.
Yo.
But he plays down the right-hand side, though, Raksaki. Potentially, he might be able to convert down to the left and the B-way. But yeah, it's just so weird. Down the right-hand side, we've got like 4 players. And on the left, barely anyone. Yeah, basically, apart from we have no one. Don't see Zaha going Spurs as Kane would be the one to start. They don't play with 3 attackers. They still play. It's not only just Kane as the.
They play 3 attackers because Kane starts in the middle. They have a right winger, usually like Kulusevski, and then they have him and Son on the left. I do believe.
Yeah, exactly. Package deal: 25 million for Lokonga and 15 million for Nketiah. Right, we're talking about spending 35, 40 million. I'm good. I don't know. Like, I'm right now as it stands, I'm good. I feel like there's different players out there. But let's talk about Lokonga. Should we talk about Lokonga? Yeah. Let's talk about Lokonga because everyone's talking about Lokonga already, and we haven't even started. We haven't even started the Lokonga chat, but everyone's already.
Wait a minute. Let me just look at this. MBOA started his first game for Hull and played on the left.
To be fair, I think at Derby
he's left-footed though. He's left-footed. Yeah, he's played on both sides. I know that. He's left-footed though. So he's left-footed, so it would be more of like a winger, traditional winger, rather than cutting inside. Unless his weak foot is strong. I don't know. That's the thing. It's hard to tell. I haven't seen him enough. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to tell, but potentially, because he has played at Derby there as well, and he's playing at Hull. So clearly, there are links there. But let's move on to the second bit of news, and that is on Sambi Lokonga. I know you lot already started talking about Lokonga, 30 million, 40 million, 15, Nketiah, all of that. But the Times are reporting that Arsenal are contemplating offloading the likes of Kieran Tierney, Nuno Tavares, and Lokonga to bolster the transfer budget for the summer. Now, when Lokonga first joined, I feel like majority of us had that feeling that it wasn't going to be the same as Gallagher to an extent, because regardless of how good he plays for us, Arsenal, with the names that they're being linked to,
there was also a very good chance that he will move on. He's he's not a homegrown player like Gallagher is, so that makes a difference. And there's always belief, regardless of no option to buy technically. But for you, T, seeing this report, seeing how Lokonga has been playing, surely that's a positive.
Yeah, it's a positive. It definitely can be a positive. I think two things need to be taken into consideration. Two things got to happen for it to really be a positive for us. Number one, he needs to continue to play well. I mean, like we talked about before, we have a small sample size so far from him to know whether or not, he may be the option that we want permanently. And, part of it, man, like our midfield issues have been so bad that when somebody steps in and can play even slightly competently in the midfield, help us retain possession, make a few good passes, it's like, oh my God, sign them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the basics that they're doing
you
well.
You know what I'm saying?
Desperately missed that. We missed that.
So
we haven't had
I guess
a midfielder all season long.
So I guess we need him to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? We need to see a larger sample size of him playing well. I think that's a big piece. And then the other piece is, how much is Arsenal going to want for him? When they bought him from Anderlecht, they got him for 17.5 million euros. So like 15.5 in pounds. So are they, I don't think they're in a position to say, oh, we're willing to take a loss on them. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get them for less than what they sold them for. So that makes me think that it'll be between 15 and 20 for them, if not more. So, I think if it gets to the if not more side of it, then I think that might take us out of the consideration too.
Yeah, Judas saying Tierney anyone would be a mad backline. Sasha Bowie, Furuhashi, Lokonga. Tierney, I don't think Tierney will come to us.
I wouldn't want Tierney either. He has injury issues. He hasn't played the majority of 1 year yet with Arsenal. Like, I wouldn't want that. Like, somebody.
And I think this comment is important because I'm kind of siding with this comment just for now, anyways. Because I haven't seen enough of Lokonga, but when he has played, he's definitely made us a better team. Let's just say that he's definitely contributed to making us a better team.
I agree.
In the short term, anyways. Colin says, I'd like to think we could get better players than Lokonga. He hasn't said anything great at Arsenal. I'd like us to go for Gally. I like the beast in his game, which we need. Now, I don't know about Gallagher thing. Even me at this point, I'm moving on.
It's never
gonna
away. It's never gonna go away.
He's gonna sign another 5-year to 10-year deal. No Chelsea, probably a 10-year deal. And we're gonna still talk about Conor Gallagher here till he's like 35 years old. But look, with Lokonga, as I said, his basics is very good. It's something that we've needed. But saying that, we might need more than one midfielder in the summer. It depends on who actually leaves. So we could get in Lokonga, but then 25 million. I mean, that's a decent chunk of money. If he spends
for us, it's a significant chunk of money. We haven't bought anyone for that amount for 25 million in a long time. I think who are we talking about right now? 25 million. Who's probably the last person?
Gahey is probably the closest to that.
I mean, and Gahey was what, 20? He was like right at 20.
Yeah, 20. Yeah,
Gahey was right at 20. Decore was right at 20. So I think that's been like the most that we spent.
Yeah, it's spending a lot of money. And look, if he's good for us, then you might say why not? Because he's of course going to contribute to the team. But for me, we might need more than one midfielder. But look, for now, that's a positive anyways. If Arsenal are looking to sell him, then it shows that we have a chance, regardless of option to buy. That's the main positive out of this.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about 2 games being played. There's going to be more sample size that we need to see to make an actual judgment on, where we should spend 30 or 40 or 20 or 10. Like, it's still too early. It's still 100%. Too early to say, yes, this is how much for Lokonga. Let's go buy him or let's not buy him. We need to see more games. With Gallagher, he didn't take 2 games. We saw his benefit, but it happened over
an entire season. And even then, he had his ups and his downs to where half of people wanted to bring him back and half of them were like, nah, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So even then, like, you're never going to please everybody. You're never going to be, consensus. Hey, let's go get him. Let's go sign him. So
exactly. And And there's also comments. There was a comment before that I just read out. I believe it was from Colin. He said he didn't do great at Arsenal. Just because he didn't do great at Arsenal doesn't mean he's a bad footballer. Because even at Palace, where he's been there for 2 games, and Arsenal fans are already saying he's doing things that we haven't seen
Nuno
all season long.
Tavares.
Nah. We're not talking about Tavares, man. We're not talking about. You just want us to become like an Arsenal B-side.
No, I'm just saying he didn't look great for Arsenal. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. I'm just saying. I'm not saying we should get him. I'm not saying we should get him. I'm just saying like he might not have shown that great for them, but doesn't mean he's not a decent player.
Nah, he's doing well, but that's over in France. We're talking about Premier League to Premier League move. But my point was that I was making is that just because he didn't do well at Arsenal, it doesn't mean he's a complete flop. Because sometimes you need a change of environment, less expectations, move to a smaller club, and go back to the basics. And sometimes the manager helps as well. Patrick Vieira is a legend of the game, and he'll help Lokonga's style of play, especially defensively. That's his biggest worry. So for me, it's too early to say, but I'm going to leave it as it's good. It's good that this option's there because with Chelsea, we never really had the feeling that he will be staying with us.
It never came out that Chelsea was going to be willing to sell. There was never a point during his loan with us where Chelsea was like, and we're going to get rid of Connor when he gets back to. You know what I'm saying?
It might be a case of signing
one, promoting Ozo or promoting Phillips.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because that way you're cutting down on the outlay of money. You know what I'm saying? You put money out on one guy and you develop 1 or 2 other guys. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. And I think that's the purpose of us doing what we're doing in our academy anyway. You want to develop talent. You want to bring talent through your ranks. So if anybody can come through, I think it could be those 2. Like those 2 are really talented players, along with like the likes. I think O'Brien could be really good for us too at the back if we decide to keep him with us too.
Yeah, Look, I think Ozo +1 could be the move as well. If we have 2 midfielders leaving,
I agree.
But with other players and academy players, I have to see. But with Ozo, I'm a bit more confident. I'm a bit more confident in his talents that he can step up to the plate. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see anyways with Lokonga. We'll see what happens with him. But yeah, that's the positive news coming out of it. But yeah, there's a Nuno debate. Great job, T. You started.
Well, this is from an Arsenal fan though too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I said it as
well. They were saying Lokonga was rubbish too, and he's playing well for it.
I don't know. For me, when I'm
like
watching
I said,
players,
I had never really watched Lokonga before he came. I had never really watched Tavares, so I don't know.
Tavares, he can't defend. Like I've seen him in Premier, like he's just not good enough. I can't lie. He's not good enough. If we're gonna go bring in a left back, I'd like to actually go for it and have someone that could maybe take Mitchell's spot so that Mitchell can push on. And
you want to have competition. You definitely want to have competition.
Because Tavares, I think he's just automatic second option. I don't think he'll be a starter ahead of Mitchell. Whereas there's other left backs out there that you could potentially go and get. But that depends on our budget, depends on academy players, what happens with Adam Roller, because let's not forget about him. He was hyped up before he went to Coventry out on loan, and I know he's having a blip right now. So it depends on a few things at the same time. Oza, Wells, Morrison, and Phillips all looking damn good players already. Yep, and Phillips, we spoke about the other day in Palace News and how he's been linked with championship clubs, and that report is coming out today as well. But we won't talk about that as much because there's nothing new about that. Lokonga sees Palace as a stepping stone, honestly. Stepping stone to where?
And we already know about the last guy that said that about us.
I have to cough, so you talk, T. Read the comment.
We know about the last guy who said that Palace was a stepping stone, and that was Jean-Philippe Mateta. So I mean, the thing is, he's already been at a top flight club at Arsenal. So I don't know. The stepping stone piece seems a little bit. It's like, if anything, we are a chance for redemption. If anything, we are a chance for him to prove his quality. I think that'll be the thing he focuses on more than anything else. Could he end up going somewhere better than us afterwards? Yes, like any other player, if you play well enough and you perform, those types of opportunities will be there. But those are things you got to deal with down the road. The thing I would focus on is if we're gonna secure him or not, and then hoping that he, like I said, performs well enough consistently for us.
Yeah, Colin says, for me, the lack of board support since the first window hasn't been great at all. So summer, expect them to back PV to solve each position needing upgrading. Yeah, I think we need another big summer because this season has been a letdown. As I always say, not we brought in bad players, we just didn't bring in enough. So this summer, with players out of contract, I'm expecting a bit more shuffling. I'm expecting another decent summer. Maybe not as big as the first summer, but also better than last summer. So somewhere in between, maybe somewhere around 30 to 40 million pound or 50 million pound. It depends because apparently there was a transfer budget this January, but we didn't spend it. So I'm hoping and expecting that we're saving that money up for the summer where we can go and get more business. So I'm expecting another busy summer. So trust me, there'll be content. Let's just say that. But yeah, look, I agree. With the stepping stone comment, yeah, Mateta wanted a stepping stone. They didn't quite. Everyone stopped working out for him so far. And players, of course, will have high ambitions. Of course, they will want to play for bigger clubs than Palace. But if he's happy at Palace, if Vieira improves him as a player, if they build a connection as well, then I'm not really worried about him using Palace as a stepping stone because he tried at Arsenal, it didn't work out. He comes to Palace, and if he plays well for us and we sell him on for even more profit, if we was to buy him, then great, we all win. Lokonga wins, he's back on form, and joins a bigger club after Palace, and we win.
I mean, if you think about it, so far in Lokonga's career, he was never like the big time prospect. He was never like the can't miss talent type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like when he got to Arsenal,
talent, but
yeah, like he was not like a generational talent. He wasn't like hey, this kid is a future superstar in the central midfield. I mean, Arsenal got him for 15.5 million. Like that's not a crazy amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, maybe, and he seems like a pretty even keel dude, but I don't know. Maybe he's not that type to worry about that type of thing. But
yeah, I think 15 million is fair price as well for now, anyways. But it depends. As I said, it's too early. But yeah, 25 million just sounds like a lot. I forgot to mention this comment. Patrick says Newcastle player and say Maximan on the left. What do you think? No, I'll say it. No.
No, okay. What type of no? Like, no, you don't want him. No, we can't.
No, I don't want him. He was with Patrick Vieira and Nice already. I think they fell out. That's what I heard from Newcastle fans.
Did they?
Okay. In Nice.
Okay.
And not just about that.
He had his best goal scoring season with Patrick Vieira and Nice.
Over in France, isn't it?
Yep, but and Patrick Vieira also tried to make him a striker.
What do you think he's? I don't look.
He's not a striker. He is 100% not a striker. I think Patrick Vieira did a lot very similar to what he was doing with Wilf, playing him through the middle a lot. And I mean, could he do it? Yes, obviously he did, and he played well there. But like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they were able to fall out or how that worked, but.
Yeah, look, I get it. I get the hype. I get it. He's not a bad football player. I'm not saying that. But for me, if you're talking, well, what are we talking about? I guess Wilf replacement, right? Because Alex Maximan ain't going to be the second option coming off the bench if you're joining Palace. Yeah. Let's just say that. If we talk about Wilf's replacement, of course, as I always say this, it's going to be very hard to replace Wilf. You just can't replace Wilf like that because if you're a Palace fan, you understand this. He means a lot to us on and off the pitch. But if you're talking about production levels, with Wilf lately, his production, well, over the years anyways, has been improving. He's been getting goals and assists for us. Yep. Saying Maximan, I love the tricks, and it's all great and that, but I need more in production. And I haven't seen it so far in Newcastle like that. And I think that's the part of his game that lacks. And I'm happy if we brought in someone else to replace Wilf, then say Maximan.
He'll be expensive too. Even if we were trying to go for him, they're going to want a decent amount for him.
Yeah, so. They will, exactly. Jude says...
Steffi Mavididi.
Yeah, from Montpellier. Looked quite good when he played that. So let's got 2 goals against us. Fairly young too. Would be interesting if you had to look at him on the left. Yeah, potentially. I don't know much about him, do you?
Not a lot. I don't know. And I guess like you said, he did score 2 against us in the preseason.
Colin says, read a report that is shocking that we don't have more financial backing than being done. So is the money there and just not going full into it or just doing it gradually? So based on what happened just this January window, I'm assuming there was money there because of what Techstar was leaking out. about we had a budget and all of this. So I'm assuming the money was there. But this is my theory. It's not true. My theory is there was money there this January. We didn't want to go and spend it because January, one, I don't know if we had the options there anyways in terms of players. And second of all, January is normally a more expensive window. This summer that's coming up, another reason why we didn't want to spend it is expensive window. This summer we've got players out of contract. We've got a bigger window now to scout from January till the summer, talk with players and sort out in the summer in a better financial package for Palace. I think that's my theory. Because we got players running out of contract, we just wanted to wait it out. Because I don't think any of us, even if we didn't sign Lokonga and Hamada, I don't think any of us, well, not me anyways, I don't think I was worried about relegation anyways, because I know that was yo-yo. Now Lokonga definitely improves us, but I feel like we're just waiting. There is money available. I don't think we only had 2 loan moves, but it's just a waiting game till the summer. What do you think, T?
Yeah, probably so. You know, it's a matter of, hey, add a couple pieces to help solidify us in the middle, and make sure that we don't find ourselves in a relegation fight. Get to the summer where we can save and spend some money. I think it's pretty much where it is. I mean, probably in that situation also of, hey, you know, what's the goal from here on to the end of the season? Are we going to make a push for top 10 for Europe? No, we're probably not. So it's like we need to solidify ourselves with where we are in the mid-table to where we're not slipping into what could be a relegation battle. So I think that's where we saw the reinforcements in the midfield. And it's like, hey, spend a little bit, push on, get to the summer as a Premier League club, save some money, then spend it when we have the opportunity to bolster the team in the summer. I mean, I can fully understand that. I mean, if we're talking business, you know what I'm saying, I can fully understand that.
Exactly. Because look, the position that we're in, we're 12th. God knows, flipping like 2 months. We've been 12th. Like I can't remember last time we've been 11th or 13th. It's kind of it's like our spot. 12th belongs to Palace. That's it. Because I genuinely can't remember the last time we weren't 12. That's how long we've been 12. And I think it's a case of, as you mentioned, we're not pushing for Europe, but there's no need to bring in players right now to push onto something. We won't push onto something. And that's why I'm excited about this summer. And that's why this club better not let me down in the summer, because this summer I'm expecting business. I'm not expecting 1 or 2 moves.
It might not be a show next year, after next summer, if we don't do what we need to do.
Yeah, literally. Forget about Palace news if it don't happen. Paul says, our Palace low spending in the league? I think in terms of net spend, we are one of the lowest.
We are one of the lowest. I think we're like bottom two or three.
Bottom 2 or bottom 3, bottom 4. I don't know. After January,
we're there.
I think we're definitely there now. 4. Net spend this whole season, which pretty much shows our frustration because we didn't build on last season. But look, let's wrap this up. But before we do, let's talk about our last bit of news, and that is that Michael Olise has been voted Palace's Player of the Month for February, his 3rd award in the last 4 months. 3 Player of the Month award in the last 4 months. This guy is slowly racking these up, and we still got people talking about Olise, he's this, he's that. He's having a very good season, ain't he, T?
Yeah, and I think the reason why you're seeing him rack up these awards is especially recently with Wilf being out, he's literally the creative attacking focal point for us right now, and in a way that was similar to how Wilf was in the past. So it makes sense why he's racking up these awards, because he's becoming a real focal point of us attacking. I mean, his passing ability is really high quality. So I'm not surprised by it at all, to be honest with you. I mean, because without him right now, we have no attacking creativity within our front 3, front 4.
I'm not saying that. We're talking about the last. He's won the 3 out of
3 out of the last 4.
Yeah, exactly. So he was there when Wilf was winning it, you know.
And even then, he was still one of our focal points with attacking, it could be because of the fact that Wilf is getting a lot of attention on the other side. I mean, it makes sense that he can play better when you got a guy opposite you who's taking up a lot of attention.
He's improving as a player, though. I've noticed that. Look, even sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, because I feel like I always do. Sizwe. I'm pretty sure he was on the stream, but you cut out on Saturday. Dude is putting tackle in amazing. Yeah, his defensive attributes to his game.
His defensive attributes are actually go very much unnoticed. If anybody on here follows Tampa Palace on Twitter, he did a really good deep dive into Michael Olise's contribution on the defensive end, and it's actually pretty impressive as far as his ability to track back, his ability to tackle, things like that. And then, I think that goes overlooked for him. So he does a really good deep dive. So shout out to Pablo.
Yeah, definitely one of the most underrated aspects of his game, the defensive.
By far.
Yeah, and he's improved massively as well. But look, he's still developing as a player, still very young. So I'm excited anyway.
Which is good for us. If he gets a right leg, man,
we're making good money. We're making good money off Elise if we were to sell him, maybe even in the summer. But look, that's it from me and T. We've covered Wilf, Lokonga, and Elise. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace videos. After this, well, basically now, go check out the match preview. We speak about the game on Saturday against Aston Villa. We have a little debate. Do you change an unbeaten side or not? So yeah,
check out the very end. The match prediction, the score prediction at the end is what it's all worth.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I'm not losing a score prediction. I feel like I got it.
Oh no, there's no way you're losing it, bro. There's no way. Because
and that's a little spoiler alert there. Let's just say that. But look, there's no rules. There's no rules. So when you watch that, you understand why I'm saying there's no rules. But look, that's it from me and T. Go check out that preview. Thank you for watching live and on replay. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.